Hi friends, this channel is for all things crochet. Today we will talk about the most requested and a must-watch topic for anyone who wants to begin crocheting. I am Arundhati from Yarn Stitch Color and I have been crocheting since mid-2015. I am a self-taught crocheter and have watched many YouTube tutorials to learn. So today's topic is all about how to make a crochet kit for a beginner and some must-knows. We will begin with some introduction to hooks, yarns, notions and other accessories and end with some super important information for every crochet beginner. Make sure you watch the video till the end to get the most out of it. I have included lots of links for you to buy from. These are all non-affiliated and I do not profit in any way from it. So let's begin.
For the regular crochet, we have two types of hooks. One is the regular cylindrical hook of this sort, and the other is an ergonomic hook, which is usually either curved shaped like this or has a handle like this. These hooks make it easier on the hand to crochet for longer hours. Hooks are available as single piece or as sets. I usually recommend buying a set only because you have a wide variety of hooks that comes in the set and you can use it for various types of yarn thickness, and it allows you a wide variety of projects. Now we will see what sort of metal hooks are available in the market and I'll give my recommendations. The first set this was not a set actually, I bought it as separate pieces. This is from a brand called Pony, which I highly recommend because Pony's got a super nice head which allows easy insert for a yarn and easy pull through. I think these hooks are the best, the Pony ones, so I highly recommend them, and this is not affiliated. These are metal hooks from Pony. These are colored metal hooks from Pony. I began with this humble grey hook. I bought a 4.5 mm and a 5 mm hook of Pony. These are the basic ones which are available in aluminium. They are available very easily. The other metal set that I would recommend is, I have bought this from PRADHAN, and these were again as separate that I've got, but they've also got a set. These are Knit Pro hooks. So these are two metal ones that I've got. Then we also have bamboo and wooden ones which are available in market. This I got from PRADHAN. It's called Symphony, but I am not very comfortable with these wooden hooks, these especially the bamboo ones and these wooden hooks. Then there are hooks available which are made with resin. Okay, these hooks I usually buy for a larger size because they are, as you can see, they are quite bulky and like they are good for bulky and chunky yarns. These are quite thick ones and they have a good grip, so they are easy to handle around bulky and chunky yarns. Then we will see some hooks that I've got from a brand called Furls. So these two are wooden ones, and these are resin ones. So I found them really good. It again depends upon how you hold your hook and what size is comfortable for you. Then I will show you some of my Knit Pro hooks again. These are with handles. These are again ergonomic ones with handles. I found them really useful with smaller sizes because they have a super comfort. These are quite short and they give us a super comfort while holding. Also the head is quite good. So the set that I have recommended in my links below, tell me if you want links for any of these hooks, but the link that I have left below in the description box is for this set by Pony. The larger sizes do not come in this set. These I bought separately, but sizes I think up to 6, from 2 to 6 come in a set. So these hooks, like I already told you, I like Pony hooks, and these hooks are Pony hooks with a very good ergonomic handle. So this is called a thumb rest. It's got a thumb rest too, and I hold my hooks like this. So this is a knife style of holding hooks, and I find them really comfortable, and I can work for very long with these hooks. So I recommend a set, like I said before, because it gives you a variety of various hooks. You can use them on various yarns, and you don't have to constantly worry and choose between hooks. The other thing with buying a set is I might recommend a size 4 or a 5 for a particular pattern. But if your stitch tension is looser or tighter, you might have to drop down half a hook size or go up half a hook size. So let that flexibility remain, at least in the beginning, and of course later you're going to always have the set, so it will help, but that's why I recommend set. However, if you would want to go with a single piece of hook and begin with that, then I recommend you buy either a 4.5 or a 5, or maybe both. So these are very helpful to make all the beginner projects, and these are available I think on Magic Needles. The pony ones are available on Magic Needles, and if you'd want these Knit Pro ones, they are available on PRADHAN. So Pony also has their own site, you can check there too. These hooks will be available. Always look at this number that that's on the hook. It will also be mentioned in the description. So ensure you buy a 4.5 and a 5 at least to begin with. And then of course as you proceed, later you're going to have lots and lots of hooks. So I will also want to share here some hooks that I have made by myself with polymer, and I have done this design with decoupage. So I have done this over these simple pony hooks. I did them because these little hooks used to give me a lot of pain when I would crochet for 2 hours or 3 hours in one go. These would give me a lot of pain, and that's why I wanted ergonomic or these handle ones. So before I could buy this set, I made these for myself, so I still sell them. Now let's talk about the most interesting topic, that's the yarn. Yarn was initially, when I began, I could see in 2015 it was majorly available as lachis. So these are called skeins of yarn, and then these have to be wound up into balls like this. But now you get these cakes and yarns like this, which are easily available in the market. I have left links in the description box to buy yarn like this. This is acrylic and this is the basic cotton. This is a 4-ply cotton and that's a 4-ply acrylic. So I have left links to buy these, and I would recommend that you buy it in a form like this, either a ball or a cake form, because what happens with this yarn is the yarn is of course very good quality, but you'll have to wind it up into a ball like this. So if you're up for that, good, or else you can just go ahead and buy these which are caked up already, and they are very easy to use. So let's see about the different variety of yarns that's available in Indian market. What I'm going to show you today is quite a limited variety, because we are making this video for beginners. But what is available in India also includes things like mohair, silk, linen, viscose, a lot of mix of these yarns, so the variety is actually endless. We will see a few basics that we need to start practicing crochet. The absolute basic that I'm recommending, even in the links below, is this simple cotton. So this allows us to make things like coasters, covers, cushion covers, spectacle covers, etc. So this cotton is very useful, and it comes in a lot of colors. I have bought this particular one from, even this one, from Magic Needles, and I'm going to leave a link. So we will also quickly check upon the thickness of the yarn. Now this is a simple 4-ply. It's also known as DK or category 3 weight yarn. This here is quite a thick one. It's an 8-ply yarn. So also check what ply you're buying. Anyway, you can click the link to easily reach the product. Next we will see the acrylic yarn. Acrylic yarn is uh, quite good for a beginner because it's easy to handle. It once you wash it, it dries quickly, and it's quite a cheap investment. So these also come in lachis like this, or you can go ahead and buy balls like this. Also check what project you want to do, and you can either buy a solid color like this or a variegated one. So lots of variety in that is available. Next we will also look at something that's a little fancy for a beginner but good, is called a t-shirt yarn. Now with this you can make projects for home decor or bags, things like that. But remember, it is not going to be very easy to pull through. It gives your hand a little bit of pain. So I wouldn't suggest that you begin with this, but if you want to try something out, you can surely buy these yarns. This is again available with PRADHAN, but I got this one from a store called My Little Bookstore or something like that. I will leave a link below. Then I have got something called the viscose yarn here. Once you are a confident beginner, you can handle this yarn too. I am saying so only because it's a little softer than the cotton yarn, and it's quite slippery for a beginner, and it's quite thin for a beginner to work with. The yarns, other than the material, yarns always have a lot of variety available in its thickness. So there's a PPT in the end of this video. That PPT will give you a broad idea of types of thickness that's available in a yarn. Please check that PPT at the end of this video, because it will also give you a fair idea of what yarn thickness the thickness of the yarn and the hook size, that's correlated. The thickness of the yarn and the hook size, that's correlated. So that table will give you a fair idea of that part too. But always remember, everything in crochet is based on practice, and you will of course find your own niche about what yarns you like, what hook sizes you're comfortable with, and all of this. So ensure you practice a lot and try buying smaller quantities, but a variety, if you would try to practice on different yarns and explore what you like. So other than the yarn and hook, we need a few other accessories to complete our beginners crochet kit. The next thing that we will need is stitch markers. So stitch markers are available either like this or like this. There are quite a few varieties that are available in the market. These I have got from PRADHAN and Magic Needles. They are from Knit Pro and Pony brands. And stitch markers are actually very useful and are quite important if you want to make your crochet perfect. The edges depend on these. I still depend on them to get my edges right, also to mark stitches into which you have to work the next stitch, etc. So please ensure you have stitch markers with you when you practice crochet. The next thing that's important is this wool needle. So you can see the eye is quite big. This is so because the wool has to pass through, and we are going to use these needles towards the end of our projects to sew in the ends. We will see in the further projects and tutorials that I make how to use them, but please ensure you have these. And of course you need a very sharp pair of scissors to cut your yarn. And I usually use this basic measuring tape. This is good enough to measure whatever I require in the project. I also check my gauge with it currently.
So we are almost at the end of making a beginner's crochet kit. We are making a budget-friendly version, and thus we've divided everything into essential and optional supplies. In essentials, we have the yarn and the hook, and in optional, we have stitch markers, wool needles, etc., which we will further see how can we substitute. Everything that I say here is my personal opinion, and it is not affiliated with any brand. So to make a beginner's kit, these are a few things that we will require. I have recommended acrylic yarn because it is very easy to handle and it's absolutely budget friendly. Then some cotton yarn, which is again decent to handle, and we can make a lot of home decor projects with it. Later on, you can also make wearables with it. In crochet hooks, I have recommended a whole set with ergonomic handles. This is how wool needles look like. We've already seen in a video, but this is more or less the picture of things that we need in our kit. So here we are going to see how we can, substitute uh, a few things which we might call as non-essential. So things like stitch markers, if you don't find them or you don't want to invest in them immediately, you can use safety pins also, in the same way that a stitch marker is going to be used in all my tutorials. For a wool needle, you can buy it from any local shop or you might have it at home. If the needle is able to take the yarn through the eye, then you can use the needle that's available at home. Same with scissors and tape. And the last thing that we are going to look at is the blocking mats and pins. Blocking mats and pins is quite an investment to begin with. So it is easily possible to use layers of towel to make a mat. So just lay few thick towels, Turkish towels, and then on it you can place your project and pin it down. We will further talk about blocking, but it'll be a very concise thing that we will handle here because it's a very wide topic by itself. Coming to yarn and crochet hooks, in yarn, like I've already said, I have recommended acrylic and cotton. But like I have mentioned in the video before, try to buy a cake or a ball because you'll otherwise just invest more time in winding it up. And in crochet hooks, you can buy a set. It'll let you experiment with a lot of designs. I'm going to leave a few links in the description box. So the first set of links is to my personal kit, which I bought from the web stores. It's a mix and match of Pradhan, magic needles, and Pony Store. But when I began, I did not go to web stores because frankly, I did not even know about them. So I would just go to the local market in Bangalore and pick up whatever I could find. So this link to my personal kit is whatever I've bought from the web stores. Then I have left two sets of links for individual stores. That's because if you're on Pradhan's website and you want to buy everything from there, you can go with that kit. Or if you're on Magic Needles and you want to buy everything there, then that's the second kit. I have also left links for hook sets from India Amazon and US Amazon for my viewers there. But let me tell you, I have never bought anything from Amazon because I've always relied on the stores that I mentioned above. Let's come to something very important. Like we spoke before, hook size and yarn thickness is correlated. If possible, take a screenshot of this slide or just save this video. It is going to help you a lot to decide what sort of yarn you want, what hook it requires, and what can you make with it, etc. So just to explain this table in short, the leftmost picture shows a thickness of the yarn. Right next to it, it's written what is it called. Like category 2 is called as fine or sport or baby. Category 3 is called light or light worsted or DK. Category 4 is called medium worsted, Aran, fisherman, etc. The third column explains what size of crochet hook we need. So this is good enough for us in India. The next column shows what is the hook size in US and after that the UK hook size. So these are just varied terms for the same size of hook. So I will recommend a 3.5 mm for a cotton yarn, 4.5, 5 and a 5 mm for acrylic yarn. So you can take a snapshot to understand this easily. The next thing that we are going to look at is how much yarn do you need to make a project. You can also take a screenshot of this image here or save it, because it is going to tell you in short how much do you need to buy, because I don't want you to buy in excess or like very little, because every time the color comes through in a batch, dye lot batch, the color might vary a bit. So once you get to making larger things like wearables or blankets, you are going to require yarn in larger quantities. Always check on the web store. There will be description boxes which will tell you exactly what is the yardage, uh, meters or in yards. It's going to tell you, and it's going to tell you how much grams is it. So once you buy a few times, you're going to be easily understanding this bit. But for right now, you can use this table. Let's come to the last bit. That's the blocking. Blocking is very important because it gives your project a proper intended shape. So once you've made a project, like for example, let's take a small coaster. Edges might curl a bit, the thing might look a little small, but once you have blocked it, it's going to look nice and crisp and a little larger than what you've already made. So what does blocking do is it opens up the stitches and gives it a good intended shape for that stitch. So how to do it, we are going to see in the next slide, but there are three types of blocking. There's wet blocking, spray blocking, and steam blocking. As the word easily explains, wet blocking is where you're going to soak the whole project and then block it. Spray is you're going to, if you have those spray steam irons, with that you can spray or steam onto the project and then block it. So how do we do a wet block, which is the easiest thing? If you don't have a spray steam iron, then we can just go ahead and wet block. So wash care as mentioned in the next sheet, and that's how you know the first six steps have to be followed to wet block. And in the end, once that is done, you're just going to stretch out your project onto those towels, or if you have blocking mats, onto that, and pin the edges very neatly. So let's see how we wash and take care. So you have to always use room temperature or slightly warm water. You can wash it with a mild shampoo, soak it in for 30 minutes, and then you can just squeeze out the excess water, rinse it thoroughly. Then you can soak it in a small dollop of hair conditioner with room temperature water and leave it for 2 hours. So this relaxes the yarn, and you know, when you block it after this, it's going to give it a good shape. And after that you rinse it. Then you can just roll it with a towel and squeeze out the excess water. Always lay it flat to dry later on, but this time, first time when you're going to block it, once you lay it flat to dry, pin it so that it gets its intended shape. After this, whenever you wash it, please just lay it flat to dry. It is not going to lose its shape. Usually store everything that you've made in plastic bags so that it's good for future use.